Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Chapter 21, Quantitative Kinetics, Lesson number 1, the rate of reaction. Now, the rate of reaction means change in the concentration of reactants or products during the time. But the products increases during the time and the reactant decreases during the time. This appears in the rate of reaction expression as positive and negative. If used the product, positive, reactant, negative. To represent to the rate of reaction or the relation between the reactants and the products, this graph appears the relation between the change of the concentration of reactants and products. Suppose the reaction A changed to B. The red line represents to the products, and the blue represent to what? To the reactants. At initial time, when time equals 0, the maximum concentration for the reactants, and the reactants decreases during the time, and the rate of reaction expression for the reactant negative change in the concentration of A during the time. But the products increases. To calculate the rate of reaction, can calculate the slope of the curve, but the rate of reaction always positive. The slope may be negative or positive. Positive or negative represent to increase the concentration during the time or decrease the concentration during the time. Now, if one of the components in the reaction gas state, the best method to measure the rate of reaction by measuring change the volume of the gas. In this example, the hydrogen gas can observe the change in the concentration of the hydrogen gas during the time. When observe the curve as the hydrogen as one of product, now can divided the curve to 3 stages. The first time, the reaction very fast, and during the time the rate of reaction decreases. The final, the curve flat. The first point in the curve as flat, this represent to the time of reaction or the reaction over, finished, no change in the concentration. The units of the rate of reaction related with the units of concentration and the related of time per second. What the factors affect on the rate of reaction? Now in the textbook, in your textbook, mention 6 factors: concentration, temperature, catalyst, state of division, nature of the solvent, and the light. How write the expression for the rate of reaction? This example appear how write the rate of reaction. Ethanoic acid reacts with ethanol to produce ester plus water. If choose one of reactant, must add negative to the in the rate law or rate expression, but if choose the product, must add positive. But what the relation between R1, R2, R3, and R4? In this reaction, the more ratio between all the reactants and the products 1 to 1. What this mean? This means that all the rate of reaction, if used any reactants or products, the same value. R1 equal R2 equal R3 equal R4. Why? Because the more ratio, the same more ratio for the reactants and the products. But in this example, observe the rate of reaction different because 1 mole of reactant with 2 moles of the product. What this means? This means that R1 not equal R2. R1 different than R2. And the relation between R2 equal to R1. Why? Because the R2, the number of moles of the product, double than the number of moles of reactant. How calculate the rate of reaction? By using the change in concentration. Must observe 2 points. Depend on the reactant or a product and the units of the time. If the minute change to second and the concentration, in this example, what is the overall rate of production of nitrogen dioxide? If the concentration change from 0.32 to 0.80, observe the concentration increases because NO2 product. During the 3 minutes, 3 minutes you must change to second. Now substitute the values in the law, 0.8 minus 0.32 over 3 minutes times 60 to convert to second. This is the answer, and don't forget the units of the rate of reaction. The second example, the same thing. You can apply the same rule and the same method. If choose one of reactants or the data in the question depend on one of reactants, the same method, but don't forget the negative sign. The negative, the final concentration minus initial concentration over the time, because the rate of reaction always the sign positive. And this question you can solve as class activity or as homework. In this question, consider the reaction is nitrogen reacts with hydrogen, the product ammonia. In this question, the data only the rate of reaction depend on the ammonia. How calculate the rate of reaction depend on the hydrogen or nitrogen? You must observe the mole ratio. Now from the equation, 3 moles of hydrogen produce 2 moles of ammonia. Now the mole ratio 3 to 2. The rate of reaction depends on the concentration of ammonia 4 times 10 to the power negative 3. What the value of the rate of reaction depend on the hydrogen? By cross multiplication, find the rate of reaction depend on the hydrogen. Observe this 1.5 times than the rate of ammonia. Why? Because the mole ratio 3 to 2, not 1 to 1 as the previous example. And you can calculate the rate of reaction depend on the nitrogen by the same method. Thank you.